All right, folks, that's the scene from the Canadian Parliament building the other day. Joining us now is Congressman Steve King, Republican from the great state of Iowa, member of the House Judiciary Subcommittee on Immigration and Border Security. Congressman, welcome aboard. Good to talk to you.
Thanks for having me back on, Steve. I appreciate it a lot.
I know you're in the middle of a campaign, and you'll probably be glad when it's over, but so much going on. Let me ask you about the reports that the U.S. is considering mandatory quarantine for those who are coming back from these, African countries where Ebola is prevalent, just like the doctor now in New York who came back and, I don't know, felt he could go out to bowling and on the subway and to restaurants, and then a few hours later turned himself in with a fever and vomiting.
Well, boy, that's right. You know, how long does it take to figure this out? That we need to have a travel ban, we need to have a TSA no-fly list, and we need to have quarantine of those who have been exposed to Ebola. It is unbelievable to me that the simplest, most common sense things that we have done for centuries to fight disease somehow aren't politically correct in this administration. And the doctor that came back from Guinea, he should have known better. But the question that hangs out here that's seldom asked, if ever, is how is it that these doctors that are the top-notch, best, #1 experts on Ebola who work with it, how is it that they contract it? It's happened multiple times. If they don't know how they contracted Ebola, how can they tell us from the Center for Disease Control? Or how can the mayor of New York say you don't have to worry about getting Ebola unless you're exposed? That was an unbelievable statement made by de Blasio that I happened to see this morning. I don't know what you think in New York, but if anybody's wise enough to say that if you don't have to worry about contracting Ebola unless you're exposed, that level of redundancy, I thought that New Yorkers and Iowans are smart enough to already know that.
Yeah. No, I really think it's an orchestrated effort to downplay panic and prevent panic, I should say, and fear, because it's just nonsensical. They obviously don't know for sure, and they even give a caveat that they throw in at the end. Most likely 98%. There's always an exception. Well, you know what? That's enough of a concern for me.
Well, yes, and then also in the same article about this with Dr. Spencer, it was that it has to come from human fluids and it can only live on a countertop or a table for a few hours. Well, those few hours by some analysts are 48 to 72 hours. I watched a mother she was boarding a plane with about an 8-year-old daughter. She stopped with her disinfectant wipes, wiped off the seat, the armrest, the tray table, stop in bottom, and the seat belts, sat her daughter down, passed her seat belt, and handed her daughter the wipes to clean off the daughter's doll. As I watched that, I said, I know this is happening probably millions of times across America. The fear of what can happen.
Absolutely. Let me ask you something, because maybe I'll give you a chance to address this, because I Google you today, and you know what comes up. That you told a newspaper or somebody that if you're lucky enough to get into heaven, you're not going to see any gay people there, that you believe they're going to hell. At least that's what I'm reading. Tell me, what did you say, and what did you mean?
Well, I read the article. I believe that was Talking Points memo, and here is their style. If you read the article, you see that the headline is not relevant to the quotes that are used. The quotes that are used are 2 or 3 words, and then they write a sentence with 2 or 3 words.
Well, I'm reading, Congressman, I'm reading Salon, and the headline is Tea Party Congressman Steve King pretty sure gay people are going to hell. So, Joe, we got about 40 seconds. So tell us, correct the record.
It's all false. It's fabricated. What I said was it's between them and God, and I said what was a sin 2,000 years ago is a sin today. That was what I said, and I stand on what I said, and they've manufactured this. And so, maybe I won't meet the people that distort the truth in the next life either, and I'm going to do my best to get to heaven.
All right, Congressman, I wanted to give you that opportunity. Hey, listen, let's not wait so long for the next conversation. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you a lot, Steve. I look forward to the next time.
Take care. Congressman Steve King, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, the former rule of law coordinator for Iraq, David Tafuri. Don't go away.